All right, I think we can get started. Welcome everyone to the live on ServiceNow event. My name is Bharat Padaki, and today we'll be talking about conversational interfaces and ServiceNow chatbots, recipe for success. Let's get started. A quick agenda here. I'll quickly introduce myself in a second, and my partner in crime, Abhinav Shekhar, who's on the ITSM product management team as well. We'll quickly introduce what ITSM standard and professional packages look for you, and then dive straight into the overview and the product capabilities around conversational interfaces and our virtual agent. We have about 3 demos as well, so we can actually show you the product and not just bore you with slideware. So hopefully it'll be an engaging conversation. But before we get started, a few housekeeping items. There will be a Q&A after the presentation. Hopefully we can set aside 10 or 15 minutes for the Q&A. Please use the Q&A feature to ask the questions throughout the session. And as you're asking questions, please introduce yourself. We love to know who you are. This session is being recorded, and it will be shared on the community forum after the session. Once the session ends, though, we will prompt you for a short survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback so we can continue to learn and improve with these events. And then before we get started into the actual agenda itself, as a follow-up with today's sessions, we are having a meetup next week. I suggest that you take your learnings from today and bring your follow-up questions to this meetup for a deeper dive on jumpstarting your virtual agent journey. This meetup event is a great opportunity to not only learn from ServiceNow experts who will be present at it, but also engage with your peers. Hopefully we will see you there as a follow-up to this session as well. And I believe we should have dropped the link to register for that meetup in the chat session. So please use the session to register. All right, so let's get started. Excuse me. So my name is Bharat Padaki. I'm part of the ITSM product management team here at ServiceNow. So anything that you see within core ITSM, from incident, problem, change, major incident management, on-call scheduling, request management, service catalog, walk-up, virtual agent capabilities, ServiceNow portal, ServiceNow mobile, all of those capabilities with respect to ITSM are owned and managed by my product management team. And today I have Abhinav Shekhar joining me. Abhinav?
Hey everyone, I'm Abhinav Shekhar, and I'm a product manager with ITSM at ServiceNow. I'm part of the team which takes care of ITSM Virtual Agent conversation. Along with it, I also have a product called ITSM Success Dashboard, which is a new product that we have launched recently in San Diego. And I also take care of Benchmark as a product. So nice to have you all, and looking forward for an insightful session.
Thank you, Abhinav. So let's get started here. Before we get into the meat of the conversation itself, I wanted to make sure I share with you how we package products here with ITSM and just kind of give you an understanding of where the different capabilities lie. So what you're looking at here in the center or in the dark circle here essentially are platform capabilities that are available to all ITSM customers, whether that's CMDB, benchmarks, mobile, reporting capabilities, knowledge, service level management, service and assessments. All of these capabilities are what we consider platform capabilities and are available to all of ITSM customers. But for ITSM standard customers, over and above the platform capabilities, there are some additional capabilities which you should hopefully are already familiar with: incident and problem management, change and release management, request, asset and cost, walk-up. They're all part of ITSM standard. And with San Diego, you will also see a new capability called digital portfolio management that is also now available with ITSM standard. The digital portfolio management is the successor to what we used to call the service portfolio management. So if you're curious, please do check out as San Diego goes GA in the next couple of weeks here. Please do check out digital portfolio management if you're interested. From ITSM standard, as you move on to ITSM Pro, again, I do want to call out everything within ITSM standard is available to ITSM Pro customers. The additional capabilities that are available in Pro include the virtual agent capabilities, which is why we are here today. You have the predictive intelligence capabilities within ITSM Pro, which is the home for all of our artificial intelligence and machine learning use cases, performance analytics, continual service improvement, and vendor manager workspace as well. With this year, you will find that our DevOps change velocity capabilities are now included as part of ITSM Pro. It's no longer a standalone SKU that you have to go purchase separately. It is if you're entitled to Pro, DevOps change velocity capabilities are available to you. And of course, finally, dynamic translation as a capability is also packaged within our ITSM Pro. And finally, we have a third Uber package called the ITSM Enterprise, where you will find our workforce optimization capabilities as well as our process optimization capabilities bundled in there. So moving on to the next slide, upgrading the package is essentially the way we look at it. We consider standard as modernizing an experience, automating with ITSM Pro, and essentially optimizing your ServiceNow experience with our ITSM Enterprise package. Upgrading your ITSM package, we believe, gives you a terrific advantage. As an example, companies have seen a deflection of 50% of all incidents coming into the service desk using the virtual agent capabilities. IT service desk agents are seeing an 80% accuracy in auto assigning of tickets as artificial intelligence and machine learning automate a lot of the repetitive manual work and eliminate the human manual error. So your employees can find answers instantly, and your service desk agents can focus on more fulfilling work. I think one of our case studies has almost 104 hours saved per agent yearly. As a result, your workforce overall tends to have a much greater job satisfaction and a lower turnover. We've also seen agents save 20 hours a week on change tickets with the DevOps change integration by connecting dev tools to change management for automatic ticketing and approval. Say goodbye to all of the siloed tools and instead instantly monitor and analyze performance, gain visibility on business processes, and continually improve to cut costs by almost 30K a year. And finally, reduce your backlog by 70% with performance analytics, delivering IT insights for your teams so that your service and operations teams can make data-driven decisions. Right. There's some of the examples of case studies that are available from our customers that are public references that you can see on our .com site. Before we get into the virtual agent capabilities itself, I did want to make you folks aware of some of our services offerings that are available. A lot of these have been built, piloted through a majority of last year, essentially responding to the needs of our customers. We've been hearing about this a lot from you folks, and these are now available for customers. There are three flavors here. The first one's called Virtual Agent Essentials, which is essentially designed to help you kickstart your VA journey. We will work with you in your sub-production instance to turn on 16 pre-built conversations, turn on the necessary channel integrations, and essentially help set you up to move that from your sub-production environment into your production and go live with it. Your Now Intelligence implementation service is a full-blown implementation service where we will come in, work with you, understand your requirements, and we will help you build 15 virtual agent conversations of your choice within your environment and help you with going live. In addition, though, the Now Intelligence implementation service is a teach me how to fish service. So which is essentially, we will train your folks as well on the different capabilities, on the tools that our services folks or our partners are using to actually build these capabilities. And the final package is the final service is the Virtual Agent Optimize. Think about this as your managed service offering, where essentially for a fee, we will set the solution up for you. We will activate everything necessary and essentially maintain and manage this solution for you. It's hands off. Our experts will meet with you on a regular basis, whether that's building new topics, whether that's fine-tuning your NLU models, tuning your search capabilities. All of that will be managed by our team, essentially, like I said, managed service offering. So with that, let's get into the meat of the conversation. Now, one of the primary goals we hear, or one of the primary objectives we hear from customers when they want to start on the virtual agent journey is, of course, enabling employees to self-serve and essentially find the answers that they want within the automated channels and reduce the load on the human queue or the agent queue. Employees typically come in through multiple channels. It could be through mobile devices, it could be through Teams or Slack interfaces, or Facebook at Workplace, or even the ServiceNow portal. Our virtual agent is available on all of these channels, 24/7, ready to help the employees get what they're looking for. One of the common questions, before I start building this up, one of the common questions I get from customers as they start their virtual agent journey is, hey, look, I've spent a number of years building my catalog, building my knowledge content. I've set up portals. Is it time for me now to go build virtual agent topics for every single use case out there? And my guidance to them always is, no, that's not the case. Your existing catalog and your existing knowledge are the most powerful tools at your disposal. The virtual agent can use your existing knowledge and existing catalog items to actually help answer the user's queries and get them to the right place. With AI search, which has been available since Quebec on the platform, you can now essentially surface the existing catalog items and knowledge articles via the AI search through virtual agent to your employees. With AI search, you can not only tap into knowledge that exists on the platform, but you also can enable external knowledge, whether that's SharePoint, Jira, Confluence. Integrate that into AI search, so your employees essentially are getting a unified experience across the platform. When it comes to building automated resolutions or topics, I always recommend customers to be very purpose-driven or specific. Identify your high priority use cases, identify your most valuable use cases, and build your virtual agent topics or automated resolutions for those specific scenarios. For everything else, your catalog items and your knowledge articles will essentially help answer your employees' questions. This also gives you broader coverage across the platform. What are automated resolutions? It's a combination of virtual agent topics, NLU models, and any workflows and integrations that are part of it. All of these are, I would consider them as one single bundle. As a ITSM team, if you folks are not aware, we have been releasing virtual agent content on the store on a regular basis. I think through most of last year, we used to do it on a monthly basis, where we would release a combination specific use cases of virtual agent topics, pre-built NLU models, the flow designer flows, and any integration hub spokes to automate the third-party integrations, all bundled as one package and available to ITSM Pro customers already without any additional uplift. Starting this year, we are moving to more of a quarterly cadence, and I have a slide later on which will essentially show you what some of that content looks like. Right. So the intent there from our end is to reduce the burden on your end for you to have to go build content yourself from scratch. A lot of the out-of-the-box content is already available for you. Hopefully it works for you right out of the box, but you do have the builder capabilities on the platform if you do want to extend those out-of-the-box use cases, or if you want to customize it specifically to your organization's needs. You have the ability on the platform with the virtual agent designer, the NLU workbench, or the flow designer capabilities. Now, excuse me. The virtual agent can't always cover every single thing. There's always going to be things out there that the virtual agent doesn't have an answer for. I highly recommend customers to set up the live agent capabilities and turn on the live agent transfer capabilities with the virtual agent. Here you have a seamless transition, whether the virtual agent is unable to help the user, or if the user just wants to talk with an agent within the same interface, whether that's on Teams, Slack, in the portal, or on mobile. You don't have to change interfaces. The virtual agent essentially behind the scenes brings the live agent into the conversation, so you're not looking at different interfaces. The live agents, essentially, if you have a queue out there, the virtual agent will transfer you to the next available agent. If you have advanced work assignment, we'll essentially use skills, capability, availability to bring the right agent into the conversation. One of the capabilities that we will show off later on in a demo today is the autopilot. where the live agents can essentially run a virtual agent conversation on behalf of the user while in a conversation with the user. Right? In addition to users reaching out to the virtual agent, we also have the capability called Actionable notifications, which is essentially you can use the virtual agent as a channel to reach out to users, whether that's proactive notifications, announcements, surveys, day-to-day tasks like approvals, ticket updates, getting a comment or additional information from your user. You can leverage actionable notifications, which is again part of the virtual agent capabilities to reach out to end users from the system. And finally, the last capability that I'll talk about here, you will still find users come through other channels like a portal or even an email channel where they'll just send an email and a ticket's created within the system. The virtual agent helps deflect some of those capabilities as well. This capability is called issue auto resolution. We internally love to call it Agent Zero, but the official name is issue auto resolution, which is essentially when a ticket comes in through either the portal or the email channel, the virtual agent quickly intercepts that ticket, tries to see if it actually has an automated resolution for that specific use case. If it does, instead of routing the ticket to the human queue, the virtual agent essentially takes over the ticket, proactively reaches out to the user using actionable notifications and sees if it can actually help the user right then and there. Right, and again, we will show you all of these capabilities as part of our demo as we move forward. So let's move on to the next slide. So the big question: how do I get started? We've had a number of conversations with customers over the last couple of years around how they think about the virtual agent journey, and essentially we've boiled it down to 4 major buckets. The first things customers asked us, or you folks asked us, was how do I understand what I should be building? How do I know what are the most relevant use cases on my platform? Where can I focus so I'm not running analytics outside of the platform to better understand? Can ServiceNow provide the tools and capabilities to essentially understand my data and understand what I should be focusing on? The second piece is the build itself. This is where our builder tools such as the Virtual Agent Designer or the NLU Workbench comes in, where we essentially have tools and capabilities to help you build the solution and deploy the solution. The third main bucket was the experience piece. Here, again, the primary concerns were around delivering an engaging, seamless experience to end users, a modern experience to end users, so employees can actually interact with the virtual agent and get the help that they need. And finally, the last bucket is measure. Yes, I've gone through this journey. I've deployed the capabilities, but is it working? Are our employees happy with the experience? We again have capabilities on the platform which help you essentially measure the experience, so you can continually improve over a period of time. I should have built this as a continual improvement cycle, which is essentially once you measure, you come back into explore and you continue to iterate. The virtual agent journey isn't a once and done kind of journey. You mature through the journey as you learn how your users are interacting. You continue to measure, you continue to understand what user feedback looks like, and you continue to improve that experience over a period of time. So over the next few slides here, I'll go into each of these individual buckets and talk about some of the capabilities. Again, in full transparency, we only have an hour, so I'm not going into every single capability that's out there. I do want to surface the key ones to you folks. So let's start with the conversational interfaces home. Over the last year and a half, and I think it was the Quebec release, we've had a steadfast focus on the administrator persona. One of the challenges we often heard from you folks was that the administration experience around the virtual agent capabilities was extremely complex. It was hard to navigate and understand what was available, where it was available, and you were left to your own devices trying to figure out what the landscape was and what capabilities were available. So in response to that, we've continued to build the admin experiences with San Diego. The conversational interfaces homepage or the CI homepage has taken another fresh look. Essentially, what we are driving towards is that the CI homepage becomes the one-stop hub for everything virtual agent. So you can set up and configure and maintain your virtual agent and agent chat capabilities. The CI homepage also dynamically recommends any relevant plugins that you may not have turned on, or store apps that may be available. For instance, if there's new content packs that are available for virtual agent conversations, you will see those recommendations come through in the CI homepage. So you don't have to go to a doc site. You don't have to scour through the release notes. We are trying to ensure that we can inform you and provide all of the resources for you in a single place. Also, any virtual agent capabilities, topic recommendations, issue auto resolution, AI search, NLU, all of these capabilities can be turned on from within the CI homepage. It'll also help you add your chat to portals, install your integrations, configure your branding. And one new thing that's available with the San Diego release is the try your bot capability, where once you have done some of the configurations, you can essentially use the try your bot capabilities to see how the virtual agent actually looks. The next big thing that I do want to call out here is topic recommendations. Again, in the spirit of helping you understand what your instance looks like, what your data looks like, topic recommendation essentially runs an analysis on your platform, on your data, and surfaces results, which essentially informs you what key areas that you could focus on. So some of the data sources that topic recommendations uses are incidents, requests, live agent chat transcripts that are actually happening on the instance, NLU, fallback utterances. All of this can be fed as data sources into topic recommendations, where it'll then cluster these data sets and surface key insights such as, hey, here's a VPN topic cluster versus a password reset versus a Citrix session or Active Directory group issues, right? With San Diego, we also have this summary statistics box, which also tells you potential coverage that the virtual agent can give you with these specific data sets. One thing I did forget to call out is what you see are essentially anything that we surface as, or anything that we ship as content packs with our virtual agent topics, they are essentially surfaced here. So you can see what pre-built topics are already available for the clusters or areas that are being surfaced within our topic recommendations. So with that, let me switch into a quick demo. And while I switch here, we'll have a quick poll come up for you folks as I'm transitioning into the demo. We would greatly again appreciate your responses so we can better understand. Right, 66%. Right, let's, I'm going to go ahead and end, oh, one more, 9 folks, right? I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here. It looks like under consideration, hopefully, thankfully, no one in the not considering bucket, which is why you're here. Thank you. Under consideration, 67%, installed but not using 11%, and used frequently 22%. Hopefully, again, if you're under consideration, installed but not using, this session helps you with better understanding what capabilities you have. And also going back to the service offerings that are available, these are available for you folks if you want to work with the ServiceNow folks to actually get started on this journey. So let's get started here. I am in the Conversational Interfaces home here, so I just wanted to give you a quick tour of this. So essentially, you can select a specific portal that you want to deploy your virtual agent to. You can open the portal. Again, as you see here, you can the CI home essentially brings all of the necessary capabilities for you in a single place. As I scroll down here, preset cards, which essentially give you the right set of steps, all the necessary steps that are needed to complete the virtual agent journey. You can go and pick each one of those. We have specific settings that are recommended here. So whether that's branding, adding it to a portal, setting up greeting topics, the analytics capabilities. Again, one of the things we hear from customers is they weren't even aware that there were analytics dashboards that were available already shipped out of the box. Again, surfacing those capabilities for you folks, setting up the channels. And if you want to turn on either an ITSM virtual agent, an HR virtual agent, or a CSM virtual agent, you can essentially turn those plugins on here as well. And the final thing that I'll show you here is the chat settings on the Conversational Interfaces home. Again, coming in, all of the chat settings are brought together in a single place, giving you visibility into what plugins are already installed and what plugins are available for you. So hopefully this helps you in better understanding the overall landscape and navigate the landscape. The second piece that I want to show you here is the topic recommendations capability. Again, a few different things to introduce here. You can always get new recommendations, which is if you look at the different data sources here, which is incidents, requests, live agent transcripts, fallback utterances from NLU fallback utterances. We are also adding HR cases to this. I believe in this quarter is where we are adding it. So we have a default settings here where we run the scan for a specific period of time, and I believe we do it for 3 months out of the box. You folks can change that setting, but essentially once you've chosen a source and you run an analysis to get recommendations on the system, here's what you're seeing, right? So essentially there are 2 sections here. Topics that the virtual agent understands and can handle. What this means is we have intents and we have topics that are already available, pre-built topics that the virtual agent is ready to handle, right? So when I look at here, whether that's a VPN connectivity, reset password, email issues, collaboration applications, all of these topics are shipped out of the box and can be turned on easily within the virtual agent. Clicking on any one of the card essentially gives you the ability to go here and add it to VA if you already haven't added it. There's a second section at the bottom here in topic recommendations. As I scroll down here, this is VA understands but cannot handle yet. As I was mentioning, we do ship NLU models out of the box. There's a rich IT taxonomy that's already shipped out of the box. Run based on the analysis, what the virtual agent is telling you here is, hey, I have these clusters. I understand what they are. They are in the ServiceNow out of the box taxonomy, but there are no topics for here. The ServiceNow team hasn't yet surfaced or released anything around these topics, but you have the ability still to actually go build specific virtual agent conversations if you choose to for these specific topics. Again, you can select one, click add to VA, and it's going to launch you into the virtual agent designer. One of the pieces I forgot to call out here, with each of the clusters, you can actually see how many incidents within that cluster or how many requests within that cluster actually match that topic. And also the summary statistics box, which essentially gives you an idea of how much of the incident volume in that period that you ran this analysis for, how much of that the virtual agent can potentially handle if users are actually using the virtual agent. So hopefully, again, this gives you a sense for how to use the CI homepage and the topic recommendations capabilities. Excuse me. So let me switch back to the presentation. Oops. So moving on from the explore phase into the build phase, I'm not going to focus a lot here on our virtual agent designer capabilities or the NLU workbench capabilities. Hopefully you folks are already familiar with this. I'd rather focus the conversation on the content that is being shipped. Again, a lot of the virtual agent topics and pre-built integrations, what I call as content as one single block, is being released in active conversations with customers. We are engaging a lot of the customers to understand what some of the highest priority issues are for them. We are engaged with our field, with our partners to understand what kind of use cases we are hearing from customers and where they need help. And like I said, through most of the 2020 and 2021, we had a cadence where we'd release content on a monthly basis. I believe we have about 100 plus conversations now and integrations that are available already on the platform. We have switched to a quarterly cadence starting this year. So essentially, it's a combination of virtual agent topics, pre-built NLU models, which has the entities, intents, the vocabulary all bundled in, and the integration hub spokes are also packaged into this content. In addition to specific automated resolution content, we are also releasing a number of other types of content, whether that's self-service. So if you notice, meeting connectivity, walk-up check-in topics, or even actionable notification topics where out-of-the-box approval notifications, ticket status update notifications, all of these are shipped out of the box as well in terms of as part of the same content packs. So again, hopefully you don't have to build a lot of this on your own. It's available for you as you uptake our latest content packs. Moving on to the next bit here, with the San Diego release, the virtual agent is now available as a primary bot. So you can provide a unified chat experience for your employees. Prior to San Diego, the ServiceNow's virtual agent could only act as a secondary bot, but now you have the ability to orchestrate with other bots and essentially have a ServiceNow Virtual Agent be the primary bot, the primary interface for your end users. We have out-of-the-box integrations with Microsoft Azure and Google Dialogflow. So the ServiceNow bot can essentially orchestrate between any of the third-party bots or another ServiceNow bot on a separate instance within your organization. The greatest advantage here is the common conversational model and data storage. All of that is seamlessly integrated into a single model within the primary bot. So you can essentially do your reporting and analytics across a single data model and not have to go across third-party bots. Right. The next piece here, switching from the build, I'll get into the experience pieces. I think we are about 30 minutes in. Looks like we are good on time. One of the capabilities that I do want to call out, this has been available since Quebec for us, is the AI search capabilities. The AI search is available within your portal as replacing the Zing search that we have had. AI search is available within Now Mobile and within the virtual agent. With San Diego, within the virtual agent, the AI search capabilities will be automatically turned on. What do you get with AI search? Essentially, it's NLU-based intent detection. So whether your employees are typing in just a keyword, a question, or a statement, NLU is embedded or is inherent within the AI search. So it can essentially understand the intent and surface the right results for your users. The earlier point that I was making about bringing external content, external knowledge sources into ServiceNow, the AI search external adapters help you integrate. External sources, we already have integrations for SharePoint, and we are working with partners to release additional capabilities. But as a framework, and with ServiceNow, as we always do, it is an open framework, and you have the ability to actually integrate your own knowledge sources into ServiceNow if we already don't have that integration. Genius results essentially are so if you notice at the top here, this is essentially a Genius result. It is a top result with a very specific card and an action embedded within the Genius result, so users don't have to scroll through a set of results. We can tell them what the top result is and essentially take an action from within that search result itself. Semantic search is also available within AI search, which is again, so we can provide precise answers within knowledge articles and FAQs to end users. Think Google search. Instead of just showing you links to articles, we will actually surface the snippet from within the article that answers the user's question rather than the whole article. Of course, we will have links to all the set of articles in the entire article within the search results as well. But the Q&A will essentially be surfaced as a top result or a primary result for the end users. And finally, there is no additional steps needed to use AI search within the virtual agent. What we call fallback search within virtual agent, AI search is automatically integrated and turned on by default. So when users actually come in and interact with the virtual agent and there are no topics, AI search kicks in behind the scenes automatically and looks at any catalog items or knowledge articles that may be available that could actually help answer the user's questions. So next one here, actionable notifications. Again, I've spoken about actionable notifications a few times. Actually helps you drive employee engagement, and it's not just about repetitive tasks, such as whether that's approvals or ticket updates, where typically employees may have to go to a portal somewhere or look at their email to actually take care of these tasks. You can use the virtual agent to proactively send these notifications to end users so they can actually finish the tasks well within the virtual agent channel itself. The actionable notifications can also be used to send broader mass notifications, whether that's outage notifications to an employee base, organizational announcements, or if you want to send service, actionable notifications are a great mechanism to actually use and send those. Issue auto resolution, or as I was talking about it earlier, Agent Zero, again, proactively intercept any incidents coming from your portal or email channels and see if they can actually help the users before it gets to a human queue, get them the answers that they need before they have to wait for an agent. And I'm hurrying through some of these so I can actually show you a live demo here. My apologies. Live agent transfer and agent chat. Again, I always recommend this to customers. The virtual agent can't always cover everything. So ensure that you have an out for your end users if the virtual agent can't help them. In some cases, it could be asking the user if they want to create a ticket instead, or an even best case scenario, if you have a service desk queue that can actually answer users' question, connect them to live agent through the virtual agent itself. So let's go into the demo here. And as I switch back again into the demo, we have another poll question for you folks. So if you could see the question, please. Thank you. So what are the deterrents for you to adopt VA? We'd love to hear from you folks. Okay, I start seeing responses come in. Thank you. Not a lot of responses this time. Let's go ahead and end the poll. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. All right. So let's get into the demo itself. I'm here. I'm logged into the virtual agent chatbot here. So let me start with an actionable notification demo. So as you can see in the queue here, as I'm in the virtual agent experience, I actually have a notification that's already queued up. I can go ahead and hit view details and see what the approval notification is all about. So in this case, it's actually an approval for a request from one of the employees or team members on my team. The request is for a Lotus Notes application. So here again, the approval notifications can be triggered for any sort of a task, right? So in this case, it's a request management use case, but you could trigger change request approvals or any approvals within the platform can be triggered using the virtual agent. And as I look at the details, again, you have the ability to not only embed the details of the request within the notification itself, as you can notice here, I have the ability to actually go and look at the request on the portal if I needed to. Right. So in this case, I believe I have enough information to make the decision. So I can either approve, reject, or review. In this case, for a happy path, I'm just going to go ahead and approve. You can always hit reject, and you can even gather comments from the approver to see if they can actually provide the comments as well. You can enforce that with the end users. The next version of actionable notifications I want to show you here. All right, let me set it up. So in this case, I am, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come through the portal and I'm actually going to go ahead and submit an issue and see if the virtual agent can help me. I want to create an incident. So let's go ahead and search for that. Hopefully I wasn't logged out. Oh, there you go. All right, sorry about that. So this is one example of AI search genius results being turned on within our portal already. So this is actually a top result. Not only is the search result shown as a genius card, but you have the ability to just action from right here. Again, as a framework, you have the ability to configure and curate these genius results to your needs. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit create request. It takes me to the create incident record producer here. I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, I'm facing a VPN issue since this morning, and go ahead and hit submit. So if you notice here, instead of actually being assigned into one of the service desk queues, the virtual agent essentially has intercepted this particular incident, and as it's working through that incident to see if it can actually help the user, it continues to add work notes into the task. So in this case, it's essentially trying to understand the intent behind the incident and see if it can help the user. So right now, if you notice, a notification just popped up. Again, this uses actionable notifications as a backend, but in this scenario, the virtual agent essentially reaches out to the user and says, hey, look, I just noticed you submitted an incident. I actually have a resolution for you, and I can help you resolve this incident. The employees have the ability to just say, hey, no, I don't want this. I'm just going to wait for a human. Or you could say, hey, yes, help me now. At which point the virtual agent is actually going to kick into the conversation contextually and actually run the user through this. In this case, this is actually running the topic. We've kept it simple here. It's a basic set of questions and a set of instructions for the user just to kind of run through this. So once the virtual agent's able to help the user It's going to ask, does the steps work for you? Yes, they did. And finally, we can also enable closing the tickets well within that channel without any human or agent intervention over here. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, close it. I'm done. I got the help that I needed. And if you notice, automatically the ticket has been resolved on the portal here. Right. So the next thing that I wanted to show here was an automated resolution, showing off an integration that the virtual agent can enable. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, I'm having an issue with Citrix. So what I'm going to do here is I'm logged into one of my demo Citrix instances, and I'm going to launch a Citrix session here. All right, that's going to go ahead and start the session. So let's just say you have a hung session and you need it reset. So I've reached out to the virtual agent asking it to help me. So what the virtual agent is doing behind the scenes here is that it's essentially going out into your environment and figuring out what sessions you already have out there. So in this case, I have a number of different sessions enabled. In this case, this is the desktop cloud XD site test one instance. It's actually, so you can see that it's actually going into a live environment and bringing the necessary information. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say, no, go ahead and reset this particular instance for me. And you should notice, you will see here that this particular instance essentially, there you go, signs me out, resets that session. And you can trigger a survey as well behind the scenes here. So I can go ahead and say, yeah, that was a great experience. Thank you. The last bit that I wanted to show off here as part of the demo is essentially the live agent transfer. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and say, I want to speak with an agent to make things faster. Yes, I do require live agent support. On the other end, Abhinav is essentially logged in as an agent on one of our instances. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and say Beth's actually waiting for me. Hi, Beth. I have been having issues with the machine for the last week. My Citrix sessions. Oh, my typing is horrendous. I apologize. Would you kindly help me with it? So this is essentially me now interacting with Beth. So Abhinav is essentially interacting or representing Beth here, and there you go. TechLaunch. So in this case, what Beth's essentially saying is, hey, look, I'm unable to help you at this time, but what I can actually do for you is, I think you should go to a TechLaunch, the nearest TechLaunch, so a technician can actually help you. And in this case, Beth's actually suggesting that, hey, I'm gonna start a virtual agent conversations that will actually help you get into a walk-up queue. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's the autopilot feature where if there are existing VA conversations that the user was unable to get to, the agents can now, instead of actually doing this work manually, can just kickstart a virtual agent conversation while in a live agent conversation. So in this case, there are two locations available. I'm going to go ahead and select Santa Clara Tech Lounge since I'm here. And looks like there's no one waiting in line right now, and I can check you in right away. So I can either schedule for a later time, or I can just say, hey, look, I'm just going to get up and walk out there and go to the Tech Lounge right now. There you go. Well, I need something. There you go. I'm checked into the walk-up line. I can go from here and then go take. I'll essentially get the help that I need at the walk-up launch. So this was essentially the demos that we had you lined up. Let's go back to the presentation for a last couple of slides. Oops. Okay. The last set of things that I wanted to cover here, and again, I will try and go through this a little faster. The ITSM Success Dashboard is a new capability. It was released on the Innovation Labs in Rome towards the end of last year. It is now fully GA and available with the San Diego release. The intent of the ITSM Success Dashboard is to provide an Uber dashboard for executives who are key stakeholders who do not want to be in the day-to-day operational data, but are more tuned towards business KPIs and want to understand how their investment within the ITSM Pro application is actually working. Are they actually getting value for money? The ITSM Success Dashboard is essentially built to address those questions. I would highly encourage you folks to check it out. Like I said, it's available full GA with the San Diego release. We are seeing a lot of interest here. Again, if you folks are interested in this, please leave us a line in the chat, and we'll make sure that our product managers reach out to you. Abhinav, in this case, essentially, so we can start a conversation and we can show you what the ITSM Success Dashboard is all about. The second dashboard I wanted to bring to your attention is the Conversational Analytics Dashboard. This is more of your operations dashboard. This is going to take you under the hood, where you can actually essentially see virtual agent usage, conversations, NLU usage, and essentially see what's working, what's not working. What is my survey? What do my survey responses look like? What are they telling me? Do I have what kind of active usage am I seeing? On what channels am I seeing? What kind of topics are being used? So the more nitty-gritty under the hood operational data is covered by the virtual agent analytics dashboard. So from here, we'll just quickly go over and show you what the dashboard looks like. Abhinav's going to quickly take you through that. Abhinav, if you want to quickly switch over.
Thank you, Bharat. So what we are looking at right now on the screen is ITSM Success Dashboard. And this is the new product that, as Bharat just told, was released as an innovation lab in Rome and is now generally available since San Diego. So with this particular dashboard, we intend the IT leaders and the process owners to get an insight into how their ITSM product implementation or performance is looking like. And also with this particular dashboard, they'll also get a view into how is the service quality being maintained by the agents at the service desk. So we have few KPIs that I'll quickly run through. So for example, in service quality, we track customer satisfaction scores, mean time to resolve or remediate an issue, and the percentage of breached SLA, percentage of tickets which has breached SLA. So we have given a context of each and every KPIs on the right-hand side, where you can find more information on each of the KPIs that we are tracking. Now, similarly, we have few other KPIs which tracks the performance part of our entire product, right? So we have self-solve or self-service percentage, call deflection percentage, and things like that. Now, with this dashboard, actually, this particular dashboard is based on a prescriptive KPIs that is provided by ServiceNow, and it helps track the efficacy of different resolution channels like KB, Virtual Agent, and Service Catalog. So if you just have to look take a glimpse of it. So over here, you would see that we have self-solve using Virtual Agent, Knowledge, as well as the catalog item. So next, we'll jump into a quick glimpse of Virtual Agent Analytics, which is Conversational Analytics Dashboard. This is the dashboard which will help you gain insights into virtual agent engagements, functional metrics like what is the deflection count, what is the number of active VA users, how's your conversation looking day over day versus how successful is virtual agent overall, right? So we have few key metrics which we can go over, and you can even deep dive into each how your NLU versus how your usage looks like. Right. So essentially, this dashboard and these metrics would help you in diagnosing and streamlining the VA conversation, and in turn help you reduce the live agent escalation and ticket volume. And this would be achieved through deflecting the low value, high volume issues through VA as a channel. So with these two out-of-the-box analytics tools, you would be able to measure and subsequently take the improvement actions that is required to improve the overall self-service at your organization. So that was a quick demo. I'll hand it back to Bharat to go through the next set of slides.
Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you for that. I don't know if you folks are seeing the message garbled here. Okay, hopefully this is better now. Abhinav and Victor, let me know if the screen's not available, it's not visible. So again, as we close this out, I do want to just bring this back home for you folks. We've heard this often from customers that they need some help. The virtual agent service offerings are available that I spoke about earlier. Virtual Agent Essentials, Now Intelligence Implementation Service, and Virtual Agent Optimize. Please do, if you're interested in any of these, please do connect with your account team so we can actually get you the help if you need it. Next, there are a number of useful resources that are available, and I just noticed we have the meetups coming next week, so please do attend those. And we have the virtual agent community that Victor here runs. It's a very popular forum. Do use those resources. Again, as I was saying, 22nd March is the meetup as a follow-up to this session. So if you have questions and answers that you're not asking here today, or the questions aren't popping up today, you can come back to this session and you can ask those questions. We will be there and we'll help answer those questions in more live Q&A kind of setting. All right. So with that, I wanna see if there are any questions within the group. Victor or Abhinav, anything within chat that wasn't answered?
But everything is answered till now.
Okay, let's see. We have another 8 minutes. If you have questions, please feel free to ask them here. We are available. Any specific part of the demo that you folks would like to see again? Happy to run through that again for you folks. Use the Q&A, the chat feature to let us know. Is employee center necessary for actionable notifications? Great question. No, it's not. Employee center, we've had the service portal for a number of years. Employee center essentially is the path forward for us. Employee center is available to all ITSM customers. We would recommend that you move to Employee Center because that's where all of our future investments are happening. A lot of the new capabilities, the new taxonomy, the new look and feel is being built on the Employee Center, but it is not necessary for actionable notifications. Great question. Any others or any other specific part of the demo? Like I said, feel free to let us know. I'm happy to go back and show you a little bit more. Trisha, while we're waiting, we could potentially bring up the survey as well at this point. Thank you. Oh, I completely forgot about seeding the third poll question. I apologize. Yeah, if of all the features, let us know which ones of interest to you folks, and we can see how we could help you folks. Some of that. Okay. So response is streaming in. Issue auto resolution seems to be the winner at this point of time. Just as I don't know if you folks, I didn't get a chance to show this off, but we do have dynamic translation for agent chat capabilities within the virtual agent where, again, this has been available for at least a couple of releases, I believe now, which is essentially you could have an employee and an agent speaking different languages in the live agent scenario. And we will essentially use dynamic translation under the hood to seamlessly translate the conversation for the end users, neither one knowing that the other person actually isn't speaking the language. We are enabling some of those capabilities for virtual agent as well going forward in the Tokyo and Utah releases. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you folks. I should have touched upon the dynamic translation piece, but we didn't get a chance to. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, I really appreciate you folks joining us here today. Thank you. Hopefully this session was helpful for you folks. Again, I look forward to seeing you folks in the meetup next week. Please bring your questions. Please hit us with your questions so we can actually help you answer and get started on your virtual agent journey.
Hi, Bharat. This is Victor.
Yes.
Before we drop, we did one last question come in the last second.
Sure.
Can actionable notifications help in controlling licenses, and can we speak about it more in next week's meetup? I'll answer the next week's meetup part. Yes, we could talk about it more in that meetup. And then, Bharat, if you want to take that other question.
In controlling licenses, I'm not sure what license. Are we talking about software licenses? Again, let's take that as a question for the meetup next week. I'm not fully sure what the question. I'm assuming it's around SAM and software licenses. But again, we can bring this up in the meetup and see if we can actually have a follow-up question. ITIL licenses. Help in controlling fulfiller licenses. So actionable notifications. Oh, I see. So to do an approval, if you're talking specifically about approval use cases, anybody who does an approval still needs an approval license or a business stakeholder license, even if it is through the virtual agent channel. If that's basically what you're asking for. Yeah. Even when virtual agent triggers an actionable notification and gets the approval, you still need a business stakeholder or an approval license to do that approval. Yes. Whew. Looks like I got that one right.
Nice. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. I think we are at the top of the hour. Again, I appreciate your participation. Thank you for being here, and I really look forward to seeing you at the meetup next week.